Initially, the Volkswagen Polo Sedan was equipped with only one engine, a 1.6-liter gasoline aspirated engine with a power of 105 horsepower. Later, since 2014, its derated version was offered with a return of 85 horsepower. A big plus of power units is the chain drive of the gas distribution mechanism. At least up to 200,000 kilometers there are no problems with it. There are still too few statistics on higher mileage. On some instances, during engine operation, an extraneous knock is detected. It's all about piston design. They have a too short skirt, which is why there is a knock during the shifting at the extreme points of the stroke. Fortunately, there are no cases of motor failure due to this defect. The manufacturer acknowledged the presence of a design flaw and, if there were complaints, installed upgraded pistons. Later, Volkswagen began to use modified pistons in new engines starting with CFN*453641. Approximately the same amount will have to pay the minder for a replacement. Otherwise, there are no serious comments on the engine. However, the aggregate part sometimes fails. First of all, we are talking about a pump that can leak or make noise already at a distance of 50 to 100,000 kilometers. At the same time, vibrations may appear. The reason is the wear of the engine mount. Sometimes there is also a failure of the throttle assembly. After restyling, the Volkswagen Polo Sedan began to install more modern power units, atmospheric and turbocharged. One of the features is a timing belt drive instead of a chain drive. There is still very little information on new motors. The engine can be paired with a 5-speed manual gearbox or a 6-speed automatic from Aisin. In general, both boxes are quite reliable, but not without comments. So, owners of a Volkswagen Polo sedan with a manual transmission regularly encounter difficulties when shifting gears. There is only one source: the gear selection mechanism. But there are already several reasons, from the banal ingress of moisture under the jacket of the cables, corrosion or freezing in winter, to the wear of the mechanism itself. Unfortunately, episodes of repair or replacement of a mechanical box due to premature bearing wear are known. Owners of cars with a machine gun do not have to deal with repairs. However, many are dissatisfied with periodic shocks or even jerks when switching. In most cases, updating the firmware of the automatic transmission control unit in the dealer service helps to get rid of unpleasant symptoms. Suspension does not cause claims. The only thing that worries me is the tapping of the shock absorber struts in severe frosts, which is inherent in most cars. However, shock absorbers run more than 100 to 150,000 kilometers. Up to 100,000 kilometers, only the struts and bushings of the anti-roll bar have to be changed. Moreover, the racks serve for 60 to 100,000 kilometers. The bushings have half the resource and often creak in cold weather. After 30 to 60,000 kilometers, the steering rack or brake calipers may knock. Some of the early owners of the Polo sedan experienced sudden car slips. As a rule, after turning off the ignition, the problem disappeared. The manufacturer responded quickly. To correct the ailment, a new version of the firmware for the electric power steering was proposed. Updating the software has practically outlived the problem. The steering characteristics have also changed. The steering wheel has become a little heavier, which made driving more comfortable. After 100,000 kilometers, someone had to replace the internal CV joint due to the appearance of vibrations at high speed. The body of the Volkswagen Polo sedan, like any other modern car, disappoints with the low strength of the paintwork. Chips and scratches appear. Fortunately, galvanized metal does not bloom in places of chips. Traditionally, chrome parts do not resist aggressive environments well. Another scourge of modern cars is fogging headlights and taillights. The first owners, after a while, often found crumbs of foam rubber under their seat, the result of the friction of the filler on the bare metal parts of the chair frame. Subsequently, the design was finalized, and the problem disappeared. The electrician does not annoy the owners too much. A common disease is the failure of the trunk lock. At the same time, the trunk lid does not close the first time, the light in the trunk does not turn on or off, or the open lid indicator is on. The reason is the oxidation of the contact of the limit switch. The body of the lock is non-separable. Officials solved the problem by replacing the lock. The howl of the heater fan, which was used in the 2006 Skoda Fabia, surfaced here as well. For 5 long years, this shortcoming was well known to the VG concern, but has not been corrected. The same fan was integrated into the new car. Howling is more often manifested in frosts on an unheated car. Authorized dealers fixed the problem by replacing the fan. The reason is the sleeve metal graphite plane bearing, which begins to whistle over time due to the mixing of dust with grease. In addition, vibration may occur when the heater is turned on. Dust and dirt adhere to the impeller, which leads to an imbalance in the fan. The lack of cold air in the heat after turning on the air conditioner is most often associated with a failed Freon pressure sensor. Often, the owners of the Polo sedan are puzzled by the buzz that occurs when the driver's door is opened. The source of the sound is the fuel pump, which at this moment carries out preliminary pumping of fuel. This is the algorithm of its work. It works provided that more than 30 minutes have passed since the stop. If the driver's door remains open, then pumping will be done every 30 minutes.